back to another edition of That's DC Hockey. Sammy Silber here. We have quite a bit to talk about. It's been a little bit since our last episode, so figured I'd put together a little mini episode and we could chat about all things all caps. And it's down the stretch, so let's start there. So coming down the stretch, 14 games to go in the regular season. The Washington Capitals can do something that it took all 82 games last year to do. The Capitals, tomorrow night against Philadelphia Flyers, can clinch a playoff spot. A lot of math was involved, and I don't really like math. Didn't major in it. Didn't do well in stats. The Caps can do something tomorrow that it took them all 82 games last season to do. Washington would be able to clinch a playoff spot against Philly, the same team they clinched against last year under very different circumstances. But a couple scenarios have to take place. I'm not that good at math. I have some great colleagues. Shout out to Ted and a few of my other friends who helped me kind of put together the math, but there are three scenarios as of right now. So the first scenario would be Washington wins in regulation and the Islanders lose in any fashion. That would put the Caps in the playoffs. The second scenario, the Caps can win in any fashion, but the Islanders need to lose in regulation, and then the Blue Jackets can't win in regulation. They can win in overtime, just not regulation. And then Washington can get a point, but the Islanders will have to lose in regulation, and the Blue Jackets will have to lose in any fashion. So right now, three scenarios to look out for. We'll stay tuned. We'll see what they can do against the Flyers, but the Caps have won 7 of their last 8. They're looking good. All the while, we have a fun, great chase going on. Alex Ovechkin, 8 goals away from breaking Wayne Gretzky's all-time goals record. And what a ride it's been. He's absolutely incredible. At age 39, is still able to find different ways to score. You saw in San Jose, kind of a nasty between the legs deflection. Gets on the board there. The 182nd goaltender all-time he scored on as well. So he continues to make history night after night, it seems. And watching this chase, something that's interesting about Ovechkin is how humble he's staying. You know, you look at a guy who has as many goals as him and is so hungry to score and has such drive and energy every single shift, but he never showboats about the record or when he talks about it, you know, he doesn't like to go on and on about it. Is there some superstition there? Absolutely. That could be a huge part of it. But the biggest thing with Ovechkin, and his teammates will say the same, is that he's humble, he's about the team first, and I'm sure he would trade all the goals in the world for another shot at the Stanley Cup, which is exciting because Washington, you know, is looking in good shape this year. And it looks like they could make a legitimate run. So it'll be really interesting to see how this final stretch goes. 14 games, needs 8 goals to do it. With the pace he's scoring at, could happen in the final game of the regular season. We'll just have to wait. And then you have another storyline. Let's talk about Aliaksei Protas. What an absolute workhorse Protas has been this season. You look at his even strength points. At 5-on-5, he has, I think he's in a tie for 4th now in 5-on-5 points. Only 5 of his points have not come at even strength. It's crazy. You know, the guy is an absolute force to be reckoned with. 6'6", but his size is not his biggest asset. If you talk to Protas' teammates, if you talk to Protas himself, his biggest asset is the way he sees the game. His hockey IQ, the way he's able to read the play, read the ice, and know where the puck is going to go is unparalleled. And it's made him an absolute force. And what's even crazier about it is how it's been an overnight transition into an elite NHL player for Protas. Here's a little bit more on what Dylan Strome had to say about Protas last night.
I mean, the guy's incredible. You know, he's a monster at all facets of the game. Doesn't even play power play, and he has 60 points. So, you know, a beast, and you know, just not much else you can say about him. I mean, he's incredible. He's strong with the puck, makes good wall plays. He's that play on Doobie's goal from behind our own goal line, like spin around the backhand pass right on the tape. So, I mean. You know, we're lucky to have him on our team. We're lucky to have him locked up at a good number for 5 more years.
Protas has broken the record now for the most points by a Belarusian-born player in one season in NHL history with 60 points. It's just been incredible to watch. And what's even crazier is he has a little brother. Little pro, Ilya Protas, is lighting up the OHL. He's the highest scoring CHL import player in Windsor Spitfires history. And he just keeps going. He plays all kind of roles, same as his older brother. And what's crazy is that Protas even said that his younger brother is just as skilled as he was at that age. So I can only imagine what Big Pro and Little Pro are going to do when they're both in the show. You have Protas hit 60 points. You have Pierre-Luc Dubois hit 60 points. 20 more points they had last year with LA as he just continues to prove that Washington's the perfect fit. But Tom Wilson, after so much hard work and dedication, evolution, his game hits the 30-goal mark on a great pass from no other than Protas. It's a huge accomplishment, another feather in his cap.
I'd never really thought too much about it. And then when you get close, obviously it's something that you really want to do. And I truly think it's a testament to some great players that I've played with this year. And it's just been a really fun year. First week of the year, bringing Dewey, all these characters in, I'm like, oh, it's going to be a long year. They're going to be all over me, but it makes it fun coming to the rink, and I think you can see that with our group. Everyone has a lot of fun, and it makes you want to come to the rink and keep playing and playing hard for each other.
And it just says a lot about how far Wilson has come over the last few years, just how important a piece he is of the roster. He does just about everything. You've seen him playing on all four lines over this recent stretch. As Carberry looks to spark his team. He's still physical. He's just playing smart and picking his spots. Obviously, having Brandon Duhaime and some other tough guys on the roster helps as well. But, Wilson's still a guy who sticks up for himself. And all the while, he's able to score goals, play big minutes, play on the power play, kill penalties, and, just sets the example. And his teammates are all about it, are all in. So it's been really great to watch Tom Wilson this season. And then I just want to reiterate how special this year's Washington Capitals are. They are literally fueled by the power of friendship. I've not seen a group this tight since 2018 when they won the Cup. Those guys love each other. They play hard for each other. Even talking to Anthony Beauvillier, it's been like less than 2 weeks and he's already fully immersed in all the Capitals quirks and, habits and lifestyle. And, he said he was really surprised by how loud it is and how everybody just walks beside each other and supports each other. And it's really so important to have such a tight team. It really adds to the chemistry on the ice, but, you see all the pieces coming together and everybody has a specific role to play, including the goaltenders. So let's talk a little bit about the goalie situation. As a new goalie myself, newish goalie, I've been playing for a few months now, but it is a hard job. It is not easy, but the Caps have been very fortunate this season. They have two strong goaltenders in Logan Thompson and Charlie Lindgren. Thompson put on a show last night in his win over Detroit, and he's also kind of taken over the crease. You've seen Spencer Carberry say recently, that this alternation is going to kind of come to an end. The Caps are going to start kind of riding the hot hand, and it looks like Thompson's that guy. While the numbers look better for Thompson, don't count out Lindgren. The team is still planning to play him at some point down the stretch. It doesn't mean he's going to back up forever. And the numbers don't tell the whole story. I think Lindgren's come up with quite a few strong performances and has stole a couple games for Washington here. And I think the biggest thing now with Thompson is just the consistency, the performance, the numbers. He's been dominant over these last 5 games. He's won all 5 of his last starts. He's playing some of his best hockey down the stretch here, and he hit 30, wins for the first time in his career. So big season for Logan Thompson. Both goalies under contract, at least for the next 3 years. So you have a really good tandem in place. They both push each other to work harder. Both have a really good relationship with each other. So really promising things in net. But as we go down the stretch here and as you enter the playoffs, Spencer Carberry's looked at the scenarios, right? And you saw how things played out with the Bruins and Jeremy Swayman and Linus Ullmark. And you look and you kind of want an ideal scenario where there is one guy going into the playoffs. And right now it looks like Thompson. He showed what he can do last night against Detroit. So a lot to watch out for there down the stretch. And it looks like it's Thompson's crease for now. And that'll do it for this mini episode. That's DC Hockey. Thank you guys so much for joining. I'm Sammy. Follow along. Keep watching out. We're going to have more guests down the road here. And it should be an exciting rest of the way.